Hello, kia ora, g'day. I'm Philip Duncan from Weather Watch TV on YouTube with your Australia weather forecast recorded today, Wednesday the 1st of July. And just a programming note, our July Climate Watch update will be issued today, taking a look at the long range pattern, rainfall, air pressure, and just what is going on with El Nino. We'll answer all that in our Climate Watch update out today. Let's have a look at what is going on at the moment though. So plenty of energy in South Australia with all these thunderstorms spilling over as we go through today into New South Wales. They will break apart as they go further to the east, but we are seeing that energy moving eastwards. In fact, when we recorded this morning, it was averaging around about 120 lightning strokes every single minute. So pretty energetic weather coming through South Australia thanks to low pressure, which is south of the continent. So we've got that all moving eastwards. There are areas of rain and showers through New South Wales and Victoria with dry spells in the mix as well. Similar story as you come into Tasmania, but we are going to be seeing some of that heavier wet weather moving eastwards over the next couple of days. Further out to the east on the east coast here, mostly dry in large parts of New South Wales. You see a lot of cloud here in the yellow. That's the higher cloud being pushed as the airflow comes over the Great Dividing Range. As you come up into Queensland, a few coastal showers, otherwise mostly dry. There's also been a couple of showers up around the top end in Katherine during the dry season. Doesn't take much to break, rainfall records at this time of year if you get a downpour up there during the dry season. Mostly dry through Western Australia down to about Denham, and from Denham southwards, coastal showers coming through and certainly showers along the southern coastline of WA. So it's a bit of a busy weather map. Here's the situation as we go into the later part of today. So a lot of low pressure south of the Great Australian Bight. You've got the colder southerly coming into WA, westerlies through South Australia, and then ahead of those thunderstorms, or where those thunderstorms are, there is that northerly flow coming out of the tropics. So that's why it is warmer at the moment. If you're in Victoria, the ACT, and large parts of New South Wales, also Tasmania, fairly mild, based on the comments we've been getting on YouTube. So that's going to change as the westerly comes in behind it, but that could still take another day or two for some of you that are further out to the east. So here is the snapshot today. This is not a 24-hour rain map. This is just the snapshot, 4 o'clock this afternoon, Eastern time. So you can see those line of thunderstorms that in the satellite imagery were on the eastern side of South Australia. But we go through the later part of today, they're moving into central parts of New South Wales and pushing into northern parts of Victoria. If you're in the southeast, it will stay dry. Those showers also coming into northern parts of Tasmania. The westerly change, pretty clear to be seen there on the map right across South Australia. Temperatures will start to drop as that change comes on through, and of course the colder airflow is around southern and southwestern parts of WA. As I mentioned, we've got a few showers up around the top end, which, this time of the year aren't normally there. We've also got a few showers caught up in the easterly flow, which we have been seeing through Queensland over the last couple of months. Those showers actually disappear as you look here at Thursday. Now this is also a snapshot, not a 24-hour rainfall map. And the reason I've done that is to show you how those showers disappear through New South Wales. So they build up today, they move on through, and then as we go through Thursday, they taper off. You get a few leftover ones in the northeast there, but most of the energy, the wet weather energy going through Thursday will be in South Australia and Victoria and Tasmania. Low pressure nearby, the polar boundary coming up very close to Adelaide and going over the top of Melbourne at some point and moving over the top of Tasmania as well, which means some of the rain in the Victorian Alps will then start to fall as snow. So plenty of showers down there. Now the reason I've showed you that map, mostly to show you how the skies dry out in New South Wales. This is the same timestamp, but this is the 24-hour rainfall map. So this shows you the progression of those downpours from the middle of this afternoon through to the middle of tomorrow afternoon. And that's why you're seeing a drier area over here around the eastern side of South Australia, but also this band of showers and thunderstorms, areas of rain as it moves on through. So that just gives you a clearer understanding that it passes through and then clears off. So we've got rainfall totals through those yellow and gold areas of 30 to 40 millimetres in some locations, and that comes down into Victoria as well and northern parts of Tasmania, but those showers taper off the further west you go, closer to the high pressure zone. Here is the wind map for 1 o'clock Thursday, that's Eastern time. See these strong gusts through the Great Dividing Range coming down into the Victorian Alps, gusts getting up over 100 kilometres an hour inland, and around places like Canberra it could be pretty blustery. Those same strong winds go across Bass Strait and into northern parts and around the mountains and ranges of Tassie. And then the other burst of wind comes in with the westerly change that's coming more so behind it all, and that will affect southern parts of South Australia, around coastal areas, especially like Kangaroo Island, but it will also be blustery in Adelaide, and that will continue to push down towards Mount Gambier as we go through Thursday. And we go here to Friday, it's got more of an eastern lean to it, so it's easing back for South Australia, but still windy through Bass Strait, southern coastal parts of Victoria, and again along the ranges of New South Wales up to about the Blue Mountains around Sydney, where those gusts could still be going up to 100 kilometres an hour. So keep an eye on the Bureau of Meteorology putting out any official weather warnings related to snow, frost, rain and wind. It's one of those busy sorts of weeks around the southeastern side of Australia. Here is Friday's map showing rainfall from noon Thursday, or Thursday afternoon I should say, through to Friday afternoon. So most of the wet weather is around the Victorian Alps coming into the southeast corner of New South Wales, around the ranges and mountains. Rainfall totals up to about 40 millimetres for that 24-hour period, and you're seeing some totals like that around the northeastern side of Tasmania and maybe the west coast. Cold in Hobart on Friday with that wintry weather. It'll be cold through Victoria as well as those southwesterly winds blow through. The polar boundary gets pushed out to sea by the time we go into the afternoon period. Mainly dry further northwards into New South Wales, maybe a few leftover showers on the western side of the Great Dividing Range, and a few showers and maybe a few isolated thunderstorms through Queensland and central parts of the Northern Territory, and also still the risk of a shower up around the top end. Outback thunderstorms around the desert of Western Australia, and also some showers developing further southwards because high pressure, while it's quite strong, is offshore. That's actually a feature of our weather at the moment. It is a little bit unusual to see all these high pressure zones so far south at this time of the year, but it's doing it all the way around the globe and very likely related to El Nino in my view. So wintry weather in the southeast will continue on going into the weekend. As we see here on Saturday, the polar boundary still over Tasmania, and that colder airflow still coming into Victoria, so expect some snow flurries on the mountains. It may not be very much though, but snow flurries there, and snow down to a few hundred metres around Tasmania on Saturday as a result of that cold southerly coming from quite a long way south. It's not coming from Antarctica though. That's one of the things we're noticing so far this winter. Very few Antarctic blasts where the airflow is actually coming from Antarctica. It's coming from more so around the Southern Ocean. A few thunderstorms, in fact an outbreak of thunderstorms through central and southern parts of the Northern Territory. It might just brush Alice Springs and also just spilling over a wee bit into Western Australia. On Sunday, those showers ease back around the Northern Territory. Dry skies in a number of places, but coastal areas, especially in the east, are still a bit cloudy. You see showers all the way along the eastern coastline of Australia, and still a few showers around Tasmania, even though you've got powerful high pressure, 1042 hectopascals. That southerly wind coming out of the Tasman still bringing in a few showers, maybe a few snow flurries higher up around the mountains, but it is pretty much tapering off. 24 hours of wet weather, 1 millimetre or less, so it's not very much coming in for most of you there. And northerly winds arriving in southern parts of WA ahead of the next unsettled burst of weather, which arrives on Monday. Mostly Perth southwards and into that very southwest corner, west of Albany, more likely to get that rain and thundery weather. But you could see a line of showers and thunderstorms developing right through the heart of WA, and still a few showers around central parts of Queensland. Up around Charleville, you might get a thunderstorm. But most of the showers once more along the eastern side of the country, and particularly into New South Wales, where that southeasterly wind will be colder. You'll notice that going into the start of next week. So will Lord Howe Island and Norfolk Island. Wintry southerly change coming through for you. And by Tuesday, that continues on for the eastern side of Australia. Some further showers up northwards around Innisfail and Cairns. Could be seeing some thunderstorms. Dry for South Australia, with the temperature maybe going up a little bit as the winds turn around, more of a northeasterly coming through for you. And some lower pressure trying to form through Western Australia next to high pressure. That's encouraging these thunderstorms inland, north of Kalgoorlie, and again clustered around the southwest corner. And just before I go, the 7-day rainfall map, we are seeing 100 millimetres, 80 to 100 millimetres on the north-facing side of the Victorian Alps and maybe lower down. So keep an eye on any flood warnings as a result of that from the Bureau of Meteorology. 80 millimetre potential around the mountains near the ACT through New South Wales. The other area of heavy rain, just some northern parts around Devonport over on Tasmania. And the southwest corner seeing not as much rain, but still another 20, 30 millimetres. You might go higher than that if you get a thunderstorm. So a little bit of wet weather here and there, a little bit up around Queensland as well, and some coastal showers in the southeast. And of course, this outbreak of thunderstorms through the Northern Territory. So it's a busy time around Australia weather-wise. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget our Climate Watch update is out today if you're interested in seeing the trend of what we're expecting weather-wise across this month. That will be out later today.